almost licensed? Who is not licensed here? Amber. Amber is not licensed. Hope is not licensed.
I will be on Saturday.
Jenna is going to be licensed on Saturday. It's awesome. And then Josh, Josh, you and me were like tight at this point.
Yeah. Bro dog.
All right. So Amber, where are you at in the world? Unmute yourself real quick.
I just started.
Just started.
Cassandra. Yeah. Cassandra.
Oh, okay. Did you get in a text with me though?
Yes.
Yeah.
We just texted last night and set up to talk Saturday.
Saturday. Perfect. Okay. And then the screens all just moved. Hope, can you unmute yourself? Whose team are you on, Hope?
I'm with Jay.
Perfect. Okay. Have you been in a group chat with me yet or no?
Not with you personally, no.
All right. Request that. Okay.
Okay.
I have tips. I have tricks.
Perfect.
I'll do that after here, Hope.
Yes. Perfect. So ultimately, anybody else? Angie.
I am not licensed, but I am going to check today when I get home to see if the cheat is back on there again, because I don't know what's going on.
Okay. All right. Perfect. And you can text me and I'll help you understand why that is too. Okay. All right. Awesome. So Dan asked me to come on. Dan, you're here now. Do you have audio yet? Okay. Do you want to introduce me or do you want me to just?
Yeah. What's up, guys? Hello. Sorry. I have a Bible study on Fridays that I go to in person. And anyway, they talked a lot this morning. So, but yeah, guys, what's up? How are you? Good morning. So obviously Lynette is not, right? She looks a little different, less of a beard, but what's up, Lynette? We love you. Thank you for being on the call. So I wanted Lynette to come on here and, we were talking a little bit the other day. We're doing a great job getting people into the life insurance curriculum and getting them through that process. I'm super happy with that progress. I think it could be a little bit better, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. But guys, we collectively, myself included, like I got to get my 26 done, but like we got to get some of y'all securities license because Lynette and I were talking about that yesterday. Like if we could get securities licenses, we'd be having RVPs like crazy. And that's what's missing. So Lynette's on here today to talk primarily about that. If you're not life licensed, you need to get life licensed, obviously first. But so that's it. But Lynette helps us with all the licensing stuff. She is not doing your licensing for your team for you. She is helping you with questions that you have. You need to get your people, when you recruit somebody, you have to put them in the licensing. Like that is not Lynette's job. Your job is to get them into licensing, walk them through it, help them, be there to answer questions. But Lynette is there if you're like, hey, they need this thing, or they're having trouble with this, or can you help them schedule a test? Like stuff like that. If you need help, Lynette is your support staff, not your do it for you person. Does that make sense? Like she is not, you do not get to just throw people at Lynette, recruit them and do no work. That is not Lynette's job. But anyway, so yes, this is Lynette. Lynette, if you want to kind of walk them through some security stuff, that would be amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So let me transition a little bit from life to securities, because I think that's a really valuable thing that we get in the beginning of the business is we get that life licensing training. Okay. So in life, you are required to do your curriculum. Okay. You're required to unlock your chapters. You're required to take that practice exam and pass with a passing score. So one of the things that then happens is you get licensed and you're on a high of excitement and you start running business and you start doing all the exciting things and you get out of the mode of studying. And so I think that's a crucial moment that we need to latch onto, and we need to remember how to study. If you're anything like most people, you have not studied before the life test in years, right? Like some of you are closer to college age, but like I didn't study for like 20 years before I got my life license. Okay. I'm an old lady. All right. So when we get out of the habit, we have to get back in the habit. And sometimes getting back in the habit is harder than just continuing, right? If you go to the gym every day and then stop for 2 months and then go back, it's really hard. Okay. So I love that sweet transition to becoming licensed. And I love it when people reach out to me and say, hey, I know I'm not appointed yet with my life license. Can I start my securities? I love that question because it tells me that you, even inside in a little bit, maybe it's your inner voice called Dan, is understanding that you need to keep studying. Okay. And so when you're in that space where you think about studying, that introduces the SIE material. There's no required element. You are not required to do any kind of lick of studying. You could literally pay $80 and take your test tomorrow.
Don't do that. I did it. It didn't work very well.
Don't do
Don't do
that.
Oh,
Okay.
Lord.
But the life studying has taught you the habits that you need to do. The life study has taught you. There's some videos. The Edge videos are phenomenal. There is quizzes. The QBank is amazing. Okay. There is a simulated exam in your life. Over here, there's actually a simulated exam in the SIE material. Okay. You don't have to do any of it, but you get to. Okay. And I know that you guys have talked about that with recruiting before. You don't have to recruit, but you get to. Okay. So you don't have to study for the securities, but you get to. And the get to part is what is so special because ultimately it helps you to be test ready because the securities curriculum is just enough different that it's just enough more irritating. If you don't pass the securities test the first time, you have to wait 30 days before you can schedule. Killer. If you don't pass it 3 times in a row, you have to wait 6 months. Okay. So we need you prepared for that securities test. There is nothing else that you need to worry about. I see you, Angie. So there's nothing else that you need to do during the SIE period. You don't have to worry about fingerprints. You don't have to worry about the U4. You don't have to worry about your background check. Although some of you got some background check papers. I know it. They're hiding somewhere, but you got them. I know it. So get those things ready. Okay. But your focus is the studying. Okay. Angie, I see your hand. What's up?
Hang on, let me walk away from my loud kids.
You're fine.
So the simulated exam, you can take that as many times as you need to, or is that a one time? Like, because I know in the life license, you can take it twice.
Yeah, in the SIE, there's something called a QBank, and it is a question bank. So you can create your own exams in there. So one of the ways that I like to help people start to study is you start with 15 question section tests, 15 questions per section, straight from the top down to the bottom. Then you can create 100 question. Okay. Then you can create a 50 question. Then you can create an 85 question. I think there's only 60 questions on the exam. Karen, is that right? 65.
There's 85 and,
There's
and
85.
10 and
Okay.
10 don't count. So there's
Yeah, so 85, 10 don't count, okay? But what is happening in the QBank is that you're learning where the questions can all come from. So the questions in the simulated inside the QBank are weighted the same. The questions in the QBank are not weighted. You're picking the sections, okay? So there's a really, really powerful tool. It's called the, what's it called? The progress tracker. What's that called? I'm not looking. Performance tracker. So the performance tracker, once you get about 1,000 questions under your belt, the performance tracker will tell you where you're weak. Okay. So what Dan and I decided we're going to do is we're going to start running some workshops for the SIE so that we can start going through some things. The first one is going to be just basic SIE stuff. Where do you go to study? What does it look like? How do you find the Edge videos? Blah, blah, blah. So some of you might already know that. Come and join the peanut gallery. It's all good. You need to be life licensed to be on these calls though. Okay. One of the things that can happen is you get distracted from your life license. So don't do that. Just focus and get that knocked out. Okay. So we're going to plan those. I don't know, Dan, are we going to do those at night one day?
Yeah, I'd like to do them in the like afternoon / nighttime once a week-ish. And it's like I was talking to you about yesterday, like obviously we can't make you guys get on those. Like you need to be doing your stuff to build the business too. But like if you're like, I don't know where to start, I need help, I'm not understanding something, like I am definitely not a securities teacher. However, I can, you know, point you in the right direction. Same like Lynette, same thing, like
Yeah.
not necessarily a teacher, but helped enough people through like, hey, you're struggling here, go here and do this, like,
Yeah.
and maybe clarify, answer a couple questions, stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm going to try really hard to stay away from one-on-one with SIE just because it's such a time sucker. I mean, for everybody, it's a time sucker. You got to do it. But what's going to happen? Let's say Bree's still here, right? Let's say Bree wants to meet with me. Okay. And she's like, hey, let's meet on Wednesday at 4:00. I'm going to invite all of you. Okay. So it's going to be a group call in that way. And then we might have something planned. So if Bree says, hey, I want to meet with you, Dan and I might have Wednesday at 4:00 already planned. I'm just going to invite her there and see what happens. Okay.
Yeah, and Kelly just asked if it's going to be recorded. Correct me if I'm wrong, Lynette, but you can't record that stuff.
Yeah.
Is that,
That's a really good question. I will never record SIE stuff.
yeah.
Never. And if you are working with people, please don't record. SIE is a different animal. I am fully life licensed, fully securities licensed. And I am not interested in losing my license because you told them that I said something wrong.
Right.
So it's your word against mine unless there's a recording, and then I'm going to have to like eat your children or something, because if I get in trouble for saying something wrong, then I don't know.
When that eats children. That's funny.
I think we're live streaming on YouTube. Hello, YouTube world. But so, okay. So I saw somebody in the chat. I send my people here, blah, blah, blah. I tell my people this is great. I have people, Cassandra, that was you, Tammy Dufresne. I have sent people to Tammy in the past. I've had people tell me they don't like her. It is what it is. I have said, do only the Edge videos. I've had people pass their test literally only watching the Edge videos. I've had other people tell me they hate the Edge videos. Please do not feel like you have a one-time shot at a curriculum. Okay. There are at least 15 curriculums. Now, I am going to encourage you, and I don't have the exact information right in front of me. I think it's the 22nd and 23rd. That sounds like a Saturday, Sunday in my head because my anniversary is Monday, the 24th. Whoop, whoop. The 22nd and 23rd, someone from home office is coming to Rochester Hills. So if you are in Michigan, I expect you to be at that training.
Yeah, Lynette,
$100.
for a second really quick, because
Yeah.
She came to the Tampa office and I called her and asked to set this up. And I asked in our group chat, hey, if somebody comes to Michigan to do the SIE, can I get a commitment from you all that you will go there? And I got a whole bunch of yeses, and then there's a whole bunch of zeros on the scoreboard of people that have scheduled to go to that class.
Okay.
So I need y'all to go there. Like,
Is that when it is, the 22nd and 23rd?
I don't know. It's around there. Yeah.
Okay, I'll find it today. It's in the Rochester RVP chat. So
I think the 20th and 21st actually, or something like that. But it's coming up. It's in a couple weeks. And if you're
Yeah.
not,
so it's
there's
about it's about $99. Emma Lay is the teacher at Primerica. Okay, let me just give you a little bio on Emma Lay, just brief statistics. She's taken the SIE like 150 times for you, for your benefit. She just keeps taking it because she wants to know what's on the test and how can she help you study. I want a coach like that. I'm not going to go take the life test for all of you, but I want a coach like that. Okay. So Emma teaches the other teachers, and she's going to be in Rochester Hills teaching you. Okay. If you don't have access to the curriculum, text me and I'll send you a message that you have to email from your Primerica email. You enter the land of securities, everything has to be through your Primerica email. They will actually delete emails that are Gmail that come to their office. Okay. So I need you all to be in that class There is the securities guys. Jeff and Brian are amazing. They were my coaches. They're a little bit more expensive, but they follow through with you. And you can literally pick up the phone and call Brian. Brian has like 19 securities licenses. I don't know why you need all those, but whatever. The SIE is the first required test, but it's not even going to make you money. And I'm sorry. You got to keep going and you got to pass the 6 and the 63. Okay. Does anybody have any questions? We have a couple minutes left.
I actually do. What is the difference between SIE and 6 and 63?
So they're all 3 different tests and they all 3 have different numbers. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay, good. Thank you.
Yes, it's so good, Larissa. We're so good. Okay. So this is what the SIE looks like. It's a loaf of bread. Okay. It's a really long loaf of bread cut into all kinds of slices. They're called units. Okay. You have already learned all of the curriculum that you need to know if you've eaten the whole loaf of bread. Okay. Then you have a second loaf of bread that is the series 6. You only have to eat this much of it. You've already learned it from the SIE. You just have to do it again. Then you've got a third piece of loaf of bread. It's over here. It's the laws. Okay. So the SIE is the precursor or the pre-curriculum. And then you've got the 6, which is, I don't even know what they call it anymore. The 6 is the what's and the hows of how to write business. The 63 is the laws. And then the 26 is not required, but I'd recommend you get it. And that's the management. So y'all want to build a team, you've got to have the 26. Okay.
If you're ever trying to promote an RVP, you need that.
Yes. Yeah. So everybody get on Dan because your RVP run is impacted by him, just so you know. So when you are taking these tests, you really only need to worry about the one at a time. The SIE is going to take you 3 to 4 weeks. If it takes you 6 months, that's too long. I studied wrong, and I tell people that I studied wrong because I don't want you to repeat my mistake. It took me 2 years to take my 6. I didn't have the SIE, I had the 6. 2 years is way too long. I wish that somebody would have told me I could do it in 4 weeks. Okay. I just didn't know any better. Okay. So 3 to 4 weeks for the SIE. 2 weeks later, you should be able to take the 6, and 2 weeks after that, the 63. So it's a really quick process. So you got to stay diligent. Okay. Bree, what's up?
All right, maybe I missed it, and if I did, I apologize. I was taking my oldest to school. Is there webinars for the SIE like there was for the life license? Because I know those really help me, and I make sure that all of my people get those before they take their exam or get ready to set up for their guaranteed.
Yeah, they're called the Edge videos.
Okay, and now how do we locate those? I apologize again if you already said that.
Did you log into the Primerica tab for securities licensing?
Yeah, I'm in chapter 1. It's been having a lot of things going on at home right now, but I've been working on them.
So instead of going into Kaplan, you stay in Primerica Online, and they're right next to the Kaplan link. Called the SIE Edge videos.
Okay.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I was just gonna say that the thing that's coming up is the 22nd and 23rd, and I know that because I have to work that weekend, so I can't go.
You could be really sick with Primerica. Okay, next. No complaining. Don't complain in my room. Who else? Eliane, you're not really sick with Primerica. You got to go to that thing.
I'll be in Florida.
No, you got to be here. Come back and do it. You have COVID, Angela. There you go. You can get yourself a positive test. I know you. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else? 824. Nobody else. Y'all are professionals. I love it. Very good. All right.
Now that we've established this.
I know, right? So we're set up.
Don't procrastinate.
Yeah, don't procrastinate.
Like Karen.
Real bad. So we're going to set up our first review. I like the idea of doing afternoons, but I can do an evening too. So I'll get with Dan and figure out a couple of days. Maybe we'll try to do one afternoon and then one evening just so that we can hit all the people. And then I love your smiling faces. There's literally not a camera off right now. There's a couple people missing from their camera, but good job, y'all. I'm really excited about that. All right, Dan, go.
All right, that's all. Thanks, Lynette. Everybody type Lynette in the Zoom chat. Thank you. Super thankful for you helping us out with that stuff. Guys, you gotta go get that thing done. Like, I know it's not super sexy, but I've talked to most of you guys, and you guys want to have an income that is substantial and far above and beyond what you're currently making, and that will not happen if you do not get the SIE done. Like, it's just not going to. And you need to just get disciplined and do it. It's before 9, after 9. It's not, hey, Dan, I'm studying, so I can't actually run my business. No, that's not it either. It's just being disciplined.
Get the team rally to do some work while you're studying.
Yeah, and that's like what Taylor just said, like, rally your team to do things and get promotions and stuff like that while you're studying. When Taylor, or when I was doing my studying, like, Taylor helped me kind of move the team around a little bit. But Lynette, you remember when I did my SIE, I just buried myself in my basement for 10 days and didn't really do any production. That was my lowest income month ever in Primerica, and I would never suggest that. Every ounce of momentum that we had stopped because all I did was study. Like, you guys, you don't need to take 10 hours a day. You need to take an hour in the morning and an hour at night, or 45 minutes. Well, you just need to be disciplined with it for, like Lynette said, 3 to 4 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and then 2 weeks, and then you're done.
Harvard did a study.
Just go do it.
Harvard did a study on if you did one new thing for
18 minutes.
18 minutes a day for an entire year, that you'd be better than 95% of people doing that one thing.
Whoa.
Yeah, that's super powerful. And y'all, I mean, Dan studied the SIE when it was unorganized and stupid. They've put out this new edition right now, edition 3 of the SIE, and it's so much more organized. It's so much better. There's an Edge video, there's a unit, there's a QBank. Done. You're done with unit 1. You move on to the Edge video for number 2. You do the QBank, you do the unit quiz, you're done. It's so organized. So they've done a really good job. So I studied when it was chaos. Dan studied when it was a little chaotic, you know, but you guys should have no problem. You should be able to blow through it. All right. I love you guys. I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to hang up now.
All right. See you, Lynette. Thank you.
Bye.
Lynette.
Wait, we're basically done for today, guys, but we're going into the month, or not month end, the end of the weekend, my bad, end of the week, my goodness. There's no calls tomorrow morning. And so we need to, this weekend, guys, we need to get after it with your appointment setting and your field training, right? So there's a lot of, but we gotta make sure that we're balancing the studying with the field training, right? Those of you guys that have recruits, we got a whole lot of studying going on, which is good, not field training happening, which we need to make sure we're doing both of those things. So I want to challenge you guys to go and get that. I want to challenge you guys to go help your team set appointments.